Dandavats, good souls. All good souls and all your souls are good. So to all of you, my Dandavat Pranam. And we are here with Keshavananda Prabhu, with Hāsya-Priyā Prabhu, with Paramananda Prabhu, and hiding behind me on the floor, Leela Moy Prabhu. And others are around, but as in every ashram, they are busy doing things here and there. So we're very happy you've been able to join with us, and we are taking an opportunity, and I don't want to say taking advantage, but taking an opportunity of Hāsya-Priyā Prabhu's presence here. And so in a few minutes, we'll hear something which is going to be very good for us all, for our continuing steady devotional life. But first of all, let us begin with our mini Vandana, which is, we'll say together, Vandeham, Om Gyan, Namo Maha, and Vanchakalpatarubhischa. So with your microphones off, otherwise it'll sound very strange, then we'll say together. But we can all say together with your microphones on, your throats turned on. Okay. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Pada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Harijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitam Sra Om Ajnanatimmirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuram Militam Jaina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Goratvaje Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. That happens to be the Maha Mantra. It's very good for everyone. It is the greatest mantra. So, dear devotees, and those of you who joined us in the last few minutes also, can you see everybody?
I'm looking at everybody. Dandavat Kumkum. Dandavat Bilba's mother.
Shri Mam.
And everybody else, Dandavats.
So here's Hāsya-Priyā Prabhu, and really he is the person who looks after the property, the devotees, and actually everything to do with the Soquel Seva Ashram in California. And he's been around for many years, 50 plus, in fact. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think over 50 years. And so always we want to share the good hearts of the good devotees, and we have this opportunity today. So we haven't put him on the spot. We've asked Hāsya-Priyā Prabhu to say some things, to share some things with us all for the benefit of our secure devotional life. So without further ado, we have here Hāsya-Priyā Prabhu and Paramananda Prabhu seated behind him, and the auspicious Keshavananda Prabhu there. He likes to be in the background, but he's here in the foreground of the devotees here. So Hāsya-Priyā Prabhu, humbly asking you to share.
Does anybody have any questions? What is the...
Yes.
So, oh, Priyananda.
Yes, Priyananda.
Dandavat. I just have simple question. Like, you know that you're very experienced as maybe managing in the temple, so maybe you could give us some advice on harmonizing the environment.
Yeah. That's difficult. But Govinda Maharaj gave the formula, the peace formula. It works for the whole world and it works for the ashram too. Humility, tolerance, and offering respect. And really, that's what works. And without that, it's chaos, and suspicion, and so many difficulties will come to us. And we see that when somebody is giving us respect, we want to give them respect. It's like a natural feeling that comes to us. The same way, if somebody is being disrespectful to us, we don't want to have anything to do with them. So being respectful to one another, in spite of whether that person is giving us respect or not, is the formula that Govinda Maharaj gave us. And being humble and not trying to think that I know so much, or I've heard so much and I can't get any good advice from others. But even good advice can come from a crazy person. I remember once, Kumkum, you'll remember this. There was a lady that came to the San Jose ashram. She was like crazy, but she was saying something about immigration, about the Indians, some special arrangement for Indians, and we all thought, well, it's just part of her crazy nature to say these things. But then we looked into it, and actually there was some truth in what she was saying, and it helped us get the proper immigration for one of the devotees who was there. And so good advice can come from all different places. We have to be open to that, be humble, not think that I know everything, and tolerant, because we aren't always humble, we aren't always respectful. And so when that happens to us, then we have to be tolerant. And tolerant, Srila Sridhar Maharaj gave the example of tolerant is like a tree. But what do we think about a tree? A tree is just standing there, but no, a tree, we go and pick its fruit, or cut its branches. And even though we might be cutting its branches, it's still there giving us something positive. So being able to be tolerant, because we know that really everything is coming to us for our benefit. We may be chastised by the environment or by some individual, or have some difficult situation, but it's for our benefit that it's coming. Because Krishna wants us to become purified. He doesn't want us to be separated from him. He wants us in his group. And so he's sending these challenges to us to help us in our purification. Even the story of Sanatan Goswami, when he had that shawl that was somewhat opulent. Of course, I can't imagine how opulent it was, but Mahaprabhu gave him like a look, like, it wasn't proper. And then Mahaprabhu explained, you've come so far in Krishna consciousness. Krishna wants to take all of that attachment away from you and make you 100% pure. So Krishna is doing that, and sometimes it's hard. It's hard to accept that, but we have to see that that's coming to us for our benefit, not for some karmic reaction, not for some revenge, things like that. It's coming for some benefit to us, and really that's why we're here. We're not here become materially opulent or famous or anything like that. We're here to become purified and jump in the fire. Sometimes it's going to burn, but that's for our benefit. Jai Gurudev. Anything else?
Seva Rupa Revirasi always has a question. You all always have questions when we're together.
Dandavat Pranams. I do not have a question. I was trying to remember what I've been reading because it sounded great at the time, but I can't remember now. I can get it and I'll come back to you. Okay.
I can never remember what I've read either. Some people have good memories. I remember tax code. It's hard for me to remember scriptures.
Hāsya-Priyā, who's an accountant, just
Tax accountant.
Yeah, tax accountant, just you may wonder, how does he know everyone's tax code? Okay. And you see, in the material world, everyone has a duty. That's how the world goes on. And so everybody can't do everything. And in the upper world, it's not the same, but it's the opposite of that. This is a reflection of the upper world, where everybody also has got some duty, but that is towards the center, and not to make the mundane world of exploitation run, but so that the upper world, the world of dedication, can run. So Hāsya-Priyā, he's an accountant. We need accountants, we need electricians, we need drivers, we need builders, we need vegetable growers, we need all sorts of things in this world.
Just to note, Maharaj, Raghunath Das Goswami also acted as an accountant and bookkeeper for his father for a while.
Well, very quietly here, Paramanandhu is explaining, but come to the microphone, Paramanandhu.
Well, I'm just saying that Raghunath Das Goswami also did the bookkeeping and accounting for his father. Just a short note.
And also there's, you know, in accounting, there's, 1 + 1 = 2, 1 - 1 is 0.
Also,
But in spiritual accounting with Krishna, 1 + 1 is infinite. And when you take 1 away, it's still infinite. It's not 0. There's some spiritual level of accounting. So
Check our security account.
Your
What's the code for them? Has it been approved?
What's that?
What's the code for our security account?
Hāsya-Priyā Prabhu,
Yeah.
could you tell us about balancing service? What you've mentioned as a tax accountant and also managing the ashram, so many things may happen. Sometimes they're completely unexpected, like plumbing may break or a storm comes, or so many busy things. And then there's the temple seva and all of the devotees being happy. So can you tell us about how to balance? Sometimes the mood, it seems, has to completely change from the pragmatic to the heart's hankering.
Oh, so yeah, that's really hard to balance. But I found that I have a plan every day. I write like a list of the things I want to get done that day, and it never works out. That plan is like thrown out 5 minutes later, because you can't predict what's going to happen, and Krishna has his plan. And like you said, plumbing problems. All of a sudden you have a plan that this is going to happen today, but then, the water pump breaks or the septic system breaks or something. So I think being flexible is really important, and not being attached to a specific plan, because we just don't know. We don't have all, Krishna has his whole everything planned out. You can't imagine, Krishna's brain power, that billions and billions and billions of living entities throughout the universe, and he's got everything planned out for everybody. And if somebody from free will changes something, it adjusts the whole arrangement for the whole universe. So that's going on in the background, and then in the foreground, we're saying, okay, today I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But we have to be flexible and not be disturbed if something comes up that is out of the plan, out of the ordinary. And I think chanting our rounds is very important. We have to have like a connection with the spiritual consciousness. And maybe our connection at this point in our spiritual lives is very shallow. But there's something there. There's some connection there. And by the mercy of our Guru, some spiritual realization can come to us. And so chanting our rounds, reading, hearing the scripture, all of those things are important every day, not just once in a while, but every day, to help us with our consciousness. Consciousness is so important. You can be the best carpenter, but you can be a jerk, right? So we don't want to be jerks. We want to be Vaishnavas. That's our aspiration. And so then these very high, pure Vaishnavas have come to show us, what does it mean to be a Vaishnava? What does it mean to love one another, to serve one another? Because we really weren't taught that in school. We weren't taught, about service. And so consciousness is very important, having a positive consciousness, tolerant and flexible. Definitely have to be flexible. We all have that experience, right?
So Priyanana and Kumkum Devi Dasya both have much experience in ashrams and being in ashrams, harmonizing and trying to harmonize things in ashrams. But I have also a question for Hāsya-Priyā, that, okay, some devotees have to adjust to many things in ashram life, but how to adjust most people's lives, which means their home life, living in their houses, their flats, doing their jobs. Please, some tips for how to make that a successful adjustment, because really this applies to most of the devotees and most of the devotees here too.
Right. Devotional service is descending from above down to us through our Guru. And that service can take all different forms. And so for every individual, our service is different. And every day our service might be different. So to use what we have in our hand, what service is coming to us, to try to do that. It might be just a little bit, it might be a lot. And as our life goes on, it changes. But whatever comes to us, we should try to take advantage of that opportunity to do some service. And that service can be chanting our rounds. That service can be making an offering to a picture of the deities or Gurudev, or that service can be just reading even just like 5 minutes a day or 10 minutes a day. It has an effect on us, and we might not understand how it's affecting us. We might not be conscious of those things, but all these little things add up and assist us in our devotional life. And so no one can speak for everybody on how they can engage in service. There's millions and billions, unlimited ways of service, to do service. But what is coming to us? Is some money coming to us? And then, of course, we have the choice. Should I use that money for some sense gratification, or should I use it for some service? So, and we're praying to Gurudev for some guidance and some inspiration to do the right thing. And I think that's what I can say about that.
I'm giving an opportunity. You know I'm not short of questions, but this is your chance to ask some question.
Well, I have the question.
Okay, here's Paramanandu. He's going to speak a little louder though, because it's a long way from the microphone.
In your service, managing the ashram, what was the most challenging?
This is going to be similar to what I had in
Oh, yeah.
mind also. This is both of our questions. We're giving this in stereo to the Hāsya-Priyā.
Wow.
Well, I know.
There's so many
Well,
challenges. I think I heard a expression once that when you're making ghee, there's two ways to make ghee. Is you can put the butter and stuff on the stove on a low heat, and gradually it will separate. Or you can turn it up really high, and in a very short time, it becomes purified. And so that person who said that, they were comparing that to living in the ashram. The heat is turned up real high. So the challenges are our ego, Well, challenges are there everywhere in life. Everyone has money problems. Nobody has enough money. I know some very wealthy people. They also are, complaining they don't have enough money. And very poor people, they don't complain so much. They don't complain as much as the rich people do. But everyone has money problems. Everyone has, some, maybe some illness, some medical difficulty. And everyone has some mental difficulty. We all have some mental difficulty. And so these challenges are there for everybody. It's not just in the ashram that the challenges are there. But I guess the biggest challenge for me is always just to get up every morning and try to do something positive. And most of my adult life I've lived in temples and ashrams. And
Yeah,
that'll work.
And got that control. And so just keep on doing it, keep on doing it. We're all doing something imperfectly with, we have some ego, some mental deficiency. As Guru Maharaj would say, the error is human, and we're very human. So just keep on trying to do it, trying to perform our service and get some connection with the higher platform through our Guru, with service, and every day try to do something. I think that's a challenge. Success will come to us. That's been guaranteed by our gurus. We may not see it. We may not, understand how I'm so fallen, so far away from being Krishna conscious. But our gurus are giving us that vision, that encouragement, and so just have to try to do something positive with our life each day.
Actually, I remember when I saw you for the first time, for me, it was in Govinda Maharaj's veranda, and I think it was in Calcutta. You came to visit him, and we were having lunch. No, it was dinner. And I was with Govinda Maharaj. And I'm looking at Hāsya-Priyā. I didn't know, I mean, I knew he's Hāsya-Priyā, but I've never talked before. And then Srila Govinda Maharaj, maybe he noticed. And when you left, he said, oh, this is, you know Hāsya-Priyā, Prabhu? I said, I heard of him. No, I don't know him personally. He said, oh, he's doing a very important seva. It's a very difficult seva. I know, Prabhu. I did the same seva. So that was his comment.
And Govinda Maharaj was very appreciative of service, very appreciative of service. And at one time when he came to Soquel, he came there for 6 months. And he had been talking about that. I would like to come for 6 months. And of course, all the devotees were anxious for that to manifest. And then 1 year it did manifest. And then when Govinda Maharaj arrived, we put a garland on him and said to Govinda Maharaj, this is our dream come true that you've come here for 6 months. And he said, this is my dream come true. That I can be here for 6 months with the devotees. So he's very appreciative and very affectionate towards over devotee service. And that affection drew us in and kept us in his company. In spite of how crazy we might have acted or how our bad habits, he didn't focus on that. He focused on something that was good in us and trying to bring that goodness out through his affectionate dealings with us. And we all find that very difficult to do that, especially if there's some conflict, some ego conflict. But Govinda Maharaj was like expert at doing that, at harmonizing between different devotees and encouraging others, encouraging everyone. It was very rare. He said this once, I heard him say this. It's a very unfortunate person who cannot take my mercy. And we saw that his mercy was so generously given. And you had to be, really a very, very unfortunate person who couldn't accept that mercy or recognize that mercy or appreciate that mercy. We're very, very fortunate that in this life we had Govinda Maharaj Association, for myself, some small amount of association with Guru Maharaj, and of course with Srila Prabhupada for many years in Los Angeles in ISKCON. And then they've all given us these wonderful books. Wonderful books. I mean, these, we just can't imagine the depth of their realization in Krishna consciousness, like the 6 Goswamis, how much they gave us with their writings. And so these acharyas have also given us their realizations for this age, this age of maybe drinking garam jal, things like that, a little bit, some adjustment for our fallen position, internet, and things like that. They've given us their instructions there, and so and their realizations.
Would you like to share something from Srila Prabhupada's time?
Srila Prabhupada was like, a general in the army, and he assembled this army of devotees to conquer the world. And we heard from Guru Maharaj how Srila Prabhupada was Shaktavesh avatar of Lord Nityananda. But we also saw that Srila Prabhupada empowered. So Shaktivesh avatar is empowered to do a specific service. So we also saw how Prabhupada empowered so many devotees in their service. Things that we look back now, so many years later, and think, how is it possible that I did that? Not my nature, I didn't have those physical abilities, but somehow or other, Prabhupada gave us that strength and that realization on doing that service. And so this mission that we're in is not a mundane thing. There's some spiritual power that is descending through these great acharyas, and that power can come to us in our service. And we may feel totally unqualified to have any connection like that, but their desire for a specific service, Prabhupada's desire to serve his Gurudev, Saraswati Thakur. Saraswati Thakur's desire was that his disciples would go and preach in the West. And it was a general instruction, general expression that he had. And Prabhupada took that to heart and was empowered to do that service. And he in turn empowered others to do that service. And so that's where this strength comes from, the ability to do anything. It's descending from above. It's not our own mundane qualifications. Go to school, learn how to be an accountant, or learn how to be a lawyer. That's insignificant. The ability is coming from above and giving us some ability to do our service. And so we're always praying to Gurudev for some mercy to be able to do our service. That's our daily prayer. Jaya Gurudev.
And from Srila Guru Maharaj, share a few reflections.
So really the only time that I remember meeting Srila Guru Maharaj was at the Mayapur Chandrodaya Mandir opening in 1973 or 72, a long time ago. A brand new devotee. I was maybe in the ISKCON for a year or 2 years, I think. And of course, I had no idea who Srila Guru Maharaj was. But then Prabhupada invited him to sit on the Vyasasan with him, which was like, later on we understood this was not a normal thing that the gurus do, And then we could see like such an affectionate relationship between Srila Sridhar Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada. And then, of course, Govinda Maharaj was there, and he gave that very beautiful talk about how who could believe?
Whom can I tell?
Who can I tell? And who can I believe that the Supreme Personality Godhead is playing in the bushes of the gopis, and then that our what did they call them? Abai Babu went all over the world and brought Krishna consciousness to the whole world. Who would believe that? And that was Bhaktivinoda Thakur's prediction, and they were seeing that prediction was manifesting through Prabhupada's service. So, but really, I have to say that Goswami Maharaj's publications of Sri Guru and His Grace and the other books that he published really were like something that saved my life in Krishna consciousness after Srila Prabhupada's departure, because we were young devotees. We didn't know hardly anything And the concept of guru, all we knew was Prabhupada. If somebody didn't talk like Prabhupada, he couldn't be a guru. If he didn't sit in a rocking chair like Prabhupada, couldn't be a guru. I think it was all a mundane perception for us, what is guru? And Srila Guru Maharaj gave that higher perception of what is guru, Shri Guru in his grace. And so my obeisances and thankfulness to Goswami Maharaj for his service. That, saved my life and so many others after Prabhupada's departure.
And we have devotees here who've been serving under the guidance of Hāsya-Priyā. We've got Ramasundara Prabhu, who's been winning the humility prize, sitting on the floor, hiding behind me. And we've got Keshavananda, who's already got all the humility prizes. So we've got to issue a few more. And they've all been there in the States and working together and serving together with Hāsya-Priyā.
How was it?
Ramasundara, please come. What kind of a boss was Hāsya-Priyā?
Let's put into the test.
Yeah. And remember, I can get to you later.
Affection between master and servitor
Can be and will be used against.
Well, my experience with Hāsya-Priyā was very nice. And
you saved it.
I mean, we had good relationship because he'd just tell me to do something and then I do it.
And he did it. Amazing.
That's the way to capture the heart of the manager, Yeah. So. But yeah, I mean those are when I first went to Soquel and then I went and stayed longer for a month. Those are some of my happiest days too. Whenever I'm feeling down, I just remember one time I got to go, harvest some avocados on the side of the mountain, and that was, the whole place is just very, very sweet and nice. So
yeah, we had a list that we gave to Ramsundar. Things to do. You got bored, go do this.
And conveniently Kala would be there both times I went, and so Kala was like my big older brother and wasn't shy to treat me like a younger brother, which I appreciate, but it was definitely, it was nice.
It's Kala means Kala Chand Prabhu, the Kala Chand Ji, the son of Sanatani and Shruta Shava Prabhu, who became Vaishnava Maharaj.
Yeah. Anyway, Prabhu, we really appreciate your service, your presence, and we're praying that someday we'll get it again.
Well, now he's here in Govinda farm.
Yes.
And what he's asked to do, he does. Actually, that's what Srila Guru Maharaj says about devotees, that a servitor is welcome everywhere.
And
so
may the prayer of Hāsya-Priyā Prabhu will never be answered.
I don't know if you could hear that. Paramananda was saying, may the prayer of Hāsya-Priyā for him to come back and serve there never be answered, because they appreciate his presence here.
Yes. Yeah. It's an inspiration to see him serve here, carrying these big bamboo poles over his shoulder, looking out the window, all of a sudden there he is, burning trash.
And he just built a sturdy bamboo bridge just here, and very good bridge.
Oh, there's very few things to mention, right?
It's so many things.
All those bamboo fences.
Oh, the bamboo fences. Okay. There's a whole list. As Hāsya-Priyā Prabhu gave him a list when he was in Soquel Ashram, then Paramananda was been giving him a list here.
In fact, if Ramsundar is not here, we're going to shut down the Govinda farm.
Hare.
That's the ultimate.
Okay, Keshavananda, please come nearby. Keshavananda. Oh, I was going to say, he always has something to say, but he just said,
Dear devotees, technical issue. Maharaj is coming back. Don't worry, Keshavananda Prabhu is going to speak soon.
The computer was not powerful enough to digest Keshavananda Prabhu's glands. Keshavananda Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Jai Gurudev. So anyway, we're very happy that we got the wonderful.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, we changed computers.
Okay, well, I look very scary on this. This is a big computer. I better move the camera. Yeah.
Anyway, we've been very fortunate. Hāsya-Priyā came to visit very happily. So we've been mining treasures from him. As Maharaj said, these disciples of Srila Prabhupada who were there for being serving for so many years. We were fortunate to have Kumkum Didi here during the festival, and Srileka Didi, and now Has come to see us. And it's been wonderful. And I only just heard that for the first time, because that opening of the Sri Chandradoy Mandir is kind of legendary in our society. We have the pictures on the wall, and the paintings of Srila Prabhupada in his shining saffron cloth, and Srila Sridhar Maharaj in his kind of faded saffron cloth, and standing behind them, the youthful Srila Govinda Maharaj. I mean, this is a legendary occasion on this day. So to hear that Hāsya-Priyā Prabhu was there, albeit as a young devotee who didn't know anything.
Didn't know it. Like an insect,
Krishna,
crawling on the wall.
So we're very happy to hear. I mean, really, but it's very wonderful to hear that we are still in the association of devotees who are at these kind of occasions and serving those great souls. And this morning we were remembering various pastimes of, Hāsya-Priyā would put it very, very nicely about Srila Prabhupada being a great general who assembled an army and then empowered them and fused them with the potency to actually do what he wanted them to do. And I always, when I've heard stories from different devotees in Soquel about the time that the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita came out in book form for the first time in the English language, and the great drive and push of energy that required. And I always relish hearing so much about that, because every day we're opening that book that came to us through the grace of Srila Prabhupada, doing the translation. But then we heard today devotees would be saying, when will you translate this? When will you translate that? And Srila Prabhupada saying, I'm translating, but nobody's publishing. Who will do that? And then the devotees, Rameshwar Maharaj, saying, oh yes, we will do that, Prabhupada. We will print these books. You keep translating, and we will print them. And then this massive, there's no other way to say it, incredible drive. Devotees coming from all over America, coming from the East Coast, bringing the presses, the old school way of printing before computers, and the artists and the Sanskritists and and the proofreaders.
Artists didn't know how to draw a picture of Krishna.
Right. Artists who didn't know how to draw a picture.
You know, artists, you know, you don't learn that in art school, right? Maybe you learn Roman style or French style, you know, styles, Dutch style, but you don't learn about Krishna. And so Prabhupada had to give like instructions on how to draw Krishna, how to draw Mother Yasoda, what was her expression, you know. And at that time, this was before they came to LA, but it was all done with letters. You know, anybody is, you know, old enough to remember letters. Kum kum. You remember letters, right? And they would write a letter to Prabhupada and mail it. And then Prabhupada would write a letter back with instructions. Those letters are all available now through BBBC. And instructions on how to draw Krishna, you know, what should be muscular, you know, think of like Balaram as the, you know, such a powerful form, but, you know, it's not like a powerful form like a, you know, like a weightlifter, but you know, something else. And so Prabhupada gave those instructions on how to draw Krishna. And then in every way, Prabhupada gave instructions to all of the devotees, the Sanskrit scholars, you know, the Sanskrit, the devotees who studied Sanskrit, it was an empirical study in university, but Vaishnav interpretations, Prabhupada gave all of that. He had that, and Prabhupada studied so many of the scriptures, and his purports are from the summaries of, you know, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Baladev Vijayabhushan, Rupa Goswami, and Sridhar Swami, and Swami, and compiling them all together into his purports, and in a form of language that we could understand, that was of that time and place. And so all of these things, Prabhupada was very personally involved. And, you know, I look at our own life on how much we could do. It's like, you know, you get one thing done today or two things done. Wow, it's a big accomplishment. Prabhupada like got so much done every day, you know, that he was sleeping only like maybe 2 hours a night or 2.5 hours, because he was up like till, you know, midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, translating. Everybody else was asleep. He's still doing his translations. And then he was early in the morning, and he would give Bhagavatam class and meet with devotees and guests throughout the day. So yeah, definitely a gentleman, powered.
I think it's also amazing that in such a short time, that Srila Prabhupada came in 1965. He didn't really get any followers until 1966, perhaps.
Right.
And then already in 77, barely 11 years later, he left the world.
Right.
So the most senior devotee who joined the very first one, only 11 years.
Right. Yeah, sure. You know, when I joined, if somebody had joined like 2 months before me, they were a senior devotee.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Right. Yes. And I remember from the year before, I don't know in what context it was, in the festival here, maybe it was with a garland or something, but Shuleka and Kumkum were sitting next to each other, and we would think, well, who's the senior devotee kind of thing, because back then it was like, yes, you were 2 months
senior, a week before,
you know,
a week, right?
Yeah. But now, you know, so many years later, you know, you're all in that that's senior section, and we have so much fortune through the grace of Srila Prabhupada that you didn't experience like that, because you only had him in those days.
Yeah.
You didn't have the uncles and aunties and cousins and brothers and sisters. Yeah.
And it was in one way easier, because now there's so many different interpretations in Krishna consciousness on what is important, what's unimportant. And for us, it was just, what did Prabhupada say? And that was the end of the discussion. So everything was, in that way, simpler. But, everything changes, always changing. Everything is always changing. And with the disappearance of the guru, some deeper understanding has to come to our heart about Krishna consciousness. We can't just continue the same thing over and over. Something deeper has to come and challenging us to go deeper in Krishna consciousness.
Something I remember about the seniority, because rightfully so saying, because that was in my time too. If you join a week before, you're a senior Vaishnava, and you demand such treatment from the junior section. But then I remember reading Chaitanya Charitamrita, and it was the story about Raghunandan Thakur, who was a young boy then, and Mukunda Kaviraj. And that famous story when Raghunandan was feeding Krishna, and Krishna personally would come, step down from the altar and sit with Raghunandan and honor the food stuff offered by a very sincere boy with very devotional heart. And then when they're visiting Mahaprabhu is asking a very peculiar question, because Mahaprabhu knew everything. And then the question was, so Mukunda, tell me, who is this father and who is the son? And then Mukunda could understand the meaning of that question. And he said, oh, Raghunandan is my father and I'm his son. So Mahaprabhu is clearly showing the seniority is judged by the devotion, not the external circumstances, even though we do have to consider that from the external perspective. Right. But really the true seniority is that who is the devotee, the devotion is counts. And in this case, Shilekha and Kumkum Didi would sit and argue for the infinity, because none of the Vaishnavas would say, well, I'm more devotional than you. They always said, oh, you're way more devotional. No, not me. It's just like the Gopal Kumar traveling from one place to another place, trying to understand, so who is the devotee of Lord Krishna? And as soon as he arrives somewhere, they say, no, I'm not, but there, you go there further. And once he arrives there, and then they're saying, no, I'm not devotional whatsoever. You go there, and it's just endless. So let's just, the conclusion is, let's just appoint somebody for this service to put the garlands on everyone, so we don't have to argue about it.
Well, one thing I'd like to say is about Govinda Maharaj's his affection for Srila Prabhupada. And in 1992, Srila Govinda Maharaj came to Santa Cruz, and that was the first time that I met him at that time. And he gave a talk about Srila Prabhupada. And when I heard him speak about Srila Prabhupada, my heart melted, because I could understand how much affection he had for Srila Prabhupada. And it was like way beyond what affection I had. So there was no conflict in my heart to hear from Govinda Maharaj spiritual instruction, because I could see that, he really loved Srila Prabhupada. And later on, we heard so many stories of Srila Prabhupada's affection for Govinda Maharaj. And in so many ways, Govinda Maharaj had characteristics like Srila Prabhupada. He had characteristics like Srila Guru Maharaj. And he had his own characteristics, his own personality. So this was like a taking the best from everywhere and bringing it to us. It was very, very wonderful.
This is why we want you to hear from the devotees. And you know it too. Okay, I'm using a different computer. I don't know where the controls are. But also, just a little earlier, at the beginning, Seva Rupadiri said, I'll send a message when I remembered or found what I'd read. And so I'll just read. It's very short, and it's what jumped out at her. And whatever jumps out at us, then we can think that's also going to be relevant for others. And it's a purport to Srimad Bhagavatam. So Srila Prabhupada's purport to Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 1, Canto 1, Chapter 3, verse 44. One should hear with rapt attention from the real person, and then he can at once realize the presence of Lord Krishna in every page. This is about Srimad Bhagavatam. The secret of knowing Bhagavatam is mentioned here. No one can give rapt attention who is not pure in mind. No one can be pure in mind who is not pure in action. No one can be pure in action who is not pure in eating, sleeping, fearing, and mating. But somehow or other, if someone hears with rapt attention from the right person, at the very beginning one can assuredly see Lord Sri Krishna in person in the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is what Seva Rupa shared with us and sharing with you here. And we have a last question only because the clock is ticking. Actually, the clock is ticking, and Hāsya-Priyā Prabhu today is being very kind to us all by being with us. He's actually in a few minutes on his way to the airport to mystically transport himself within 24 hours to Santa Cruz, California. So, 36 hours, 48 anyway.
It's still going to be today.
All right, he lands at the same time he takes off, as the Americans say, go figure. Okay, the same time and the same day that he takes off, so that's when he lands. So just a final question to Hāsya-Priyā Prabhu, and the question's from Priyananda, and she's asking, what is your inspiration to stay in Krishna consciousness for so long?
I have nothing else to do. I have no other prospect.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Perfect.
He's competing for the humility prize.
Well, really, everybody's got all the same problems, whether you live in an ashram or whether you have a household or you live by yourself. What's the difference? You might as well try to do something positive, and some benefit will come to us when this guru is happy with our service, then something will come to us. And so might as well try to do that. And everything else, we have to give up the concept of karma. That karma is like an important thing in our life. It's not. Karma is not important. It's not important to work hard, to make money, to have a nice house, to do all those things. Those things can come by our karma, but they're also entangling us. Working hard means a lot of your time each day is spent in that activity. So why not try to do something positive with your time? And we all have different capacities, and do a little positive, a lot positive. and also the quality of what we're doing. Is our heart really into it? And so we just keep practicing, and we have faith that some positive thing will transport us mystically to another realm, not just to San Francisco. Jai Gurudev.
Jai Shri Gurudev Shri Bhakti Sunda Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. And Jai Shri Guru Maharaj Shri Bhakti Rakal Shri Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. And Jai Shri Prabhupada Shri A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai. Jai all of our Shri Rupa Nuga Guru Varga ki Jai. And to Hāsya-Priyā Prabhu ki Jai. All of our assembled devotees in person and online and on Facebook and in the recorded version. To all of you ki Jai. And all of you are appreciated, and we're always nourished just by also seeing your names and knowing that you're there, and just to be able to share, because after all, this is what Mahaprabhu wants us to do. And you see how sweetly Hāsya-Priyā Prabhu answered, and it sounded just like Gurudev, so simple, so clean. We've got to do something. Let us try to do some devotional service. Let us try to do something in that line. And so this way together, we're all within that family who are simply trying to do something in devotional service that will please Gurudev, please our Guru Varga. And so we are appreciative of this opportunity always to be with you, and appreciative of Hāsya-Priyā Prabhu especially today, and everybody especially today, but Hāsya-Priyā Prabhu who's just preparing to go to the airport. And to all of you, our humble obeisances. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namo.
Jai Shri Bhaktivedanta Mansur Maharaj ki Jai.
Oh dear, time to go. Dandavad from all. Big computer. Here we are. Leela Sundari Devi Rasi here also. And we have one more up in the main house just now, Advitya. She's also with us. So we have a little crew of devotees still here in Govinda Farm. And a big crew of devotees there online. Dandavad. Hare Krishna.